Colleen Ballinger has officially dug her hole even deeper. Let's talk about it. As many of you may know or may not know, Colleen Ballinger put out this video called My Big Audition. She said something pretty spicy, but to give you context on this, which a lot of you are familiar with from either watching other context on Colleen Ballinger or maybe even some of my videos, she was a child groomer and still is a child groomer for the matter of fact. She had a bunch of her tours canceled after this came out. She had a bunch of allegations that are still very much real. A lot of the victims are still very hurt by this situation. As per usual, Colleen has decided that she will not apologize and rather just deflect the situation, which has made things a lot worse. So what did she say in this big audition video? We're going to get over to that, but the first thing I want to talk about is this video from 7 days ago called Reflecting on 2023, where she said something pretty spicy. So let's hear that out, and then I'm going to show you another clip right here. It says, my podcast is coming back, which is also another interesting revelation. So, reflecting on 2023, let's see what she had to say here and how she feels.
Word vomiting out onto the internet right now, but things that I know that are important to me. And yes, 2023 was not my favorite year I've ever lived, but I'm grateful for 2023 because I feel like I grew and learned more in the year 2023 than—
And not to stop this so early, but if a normal person were making this video, you would think that if you grew and learned, you might, maybe apologize. You might go directly apologize to people. You're going to take some course of action after the situation, right?
I ever have in any year of my whole life. I learned a lot about being a mom. I learned a lot about the internet. I learned a lot about myself and qualities that I don't like about myself. I learned things about myself that I do love. I learned that it's better that I'm here on this earth than not. Grateful and proud of myself.
This is such an odd angle of things to see her crying because she's trying to make people feel bad. And while the people that have ignored the situation at hand, by that I mean her grooming allegations that are very much real, there's plenty of victims. There's plenty of stories that are out there on the internet that are readily available. So for people to be hurt by this situation directly is sad for her to kind of go on this video and be crying, to kind of make people feel bad again. It's such a victim mindset.
For being here and for doing the fundraiser and for being the best mom that I could possibly be. I learned a lot about trust and friendships and the media. And I'm probably never going to believe anything I read or hear in media for the rest of my life.
She's just taken a complete dark turn here and decided that, you know what, even though the truth might be in front of me, I can just ignore it and put it aside and act like it's not the truth after all. That in and of itself is extremely, and I don't mean to be like chuckling at that, but that in and of itself is extremely hurtful, especially, as I said time and time again, the grooming situation is very real.
I learned so much about rocks.
Anyway, the next piece of this whole saga now is Colleen Ballinger has announced that her podcast is coming back. And the strange thing about this is most of the comments down here are people that are very excited about it. You have, yes, we need relaxed podcasts. Low-key, we need to conclude this fruit salad debate. It's been bugging me for 6 months. And these people are diehard fans of Colleen. Now, there's the part of me that's like, holy crap, that is insane. But when you're young enough and you don't quite understand these circumstances, or maybe you've just been totally blinded to it, you're gonna have that. This isn't a surprise. It happens across the board with every creator that gets himself in the gnarliest situation possible to a semi-gnarly situation. There's still going to be fans that put those things aside and act like nothing ever happened. So not much of a surprise there, but what is a surprise is during this podcast, she said something that I personally found uniquely odd, that involves her and her husband's relationship and how that is going to play into the podcast. So let's play that out real quickly, and you guys can also let me know what you think about this.
I was wondering if you're planning on bringing back the podcast in any capacity with Eric, even if it's not a podcast. Do you plan on bringing him on and talking with him? Eric's always been like more timid about being online and on social media, this in general. He's very shy and more quiet in most situations. However, we're at a point now where if you guys see me vlogging like right now, like someone's got to be with the kids. You know what I mean? Even if we had like our fabulous, beautiful, wonderful nanny around, watching all 3 kids at once is a little hectic most times. And so usually Eric will take Flynn while our nanny has the twins, or vice versa, or, you know, we switch off. So if I'm with the kids, Eric's having a moment or making them dinner or doing something he needs to do. And if I'm working, like, he's with kids. So it's very rare that we're actually together during the day. And I'm curious if this is something that other parents of young kids like struggle with, or just parents in general, because it's something that we have a hard time with. There are so many times where it gets to the point where we put the kids to bed and we see each other and we're like, oh my God, hi, how was your day? Like, we feel like we literally do not see each other until the kids are asleep. That's one of the reasons we love the podcast, is because it forces us to sit down and kind of have a date night at least once a week, where we're just sitting and talking to each other for like an hour or two with no interruptions, and just like fully focused attention on each other.
While this might seem like a good way for them to get together, and this is just, again, a personal opinion of mine, I feel that when you're in front of a camera, you're kind of like content brained and you're focused on what you're putting out there. So oftentimes when you're on a podcast, there's a lot of personal details or maybe some like real life things that you want to discuss with one another that you're not going to discuss on the podcast. So my question about this segment is this really giving them actual time they need together to talk about like their life and things going on? Or is this just like, oh, he's on here for content's sake and that's it. That's all I get to see him for content. And while it sounds like he's already a busy guy, it makes me feel bad that he's going to be back in front of the camera. And I know they've done this podcast before, but I just found that a little odd. Let me know your thoughts. I may be going a little far with that. This kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Now, the next segment. This clip has got everybody in a big tangle for the very right reasons. Let's talk about it, and let's show you the clip.
I'm a little bit sensitive about this, which is why I haven't talked about it, even though you guys have asked about it a lot, but I'll touch on it really briefly because so many people have asked about this. The audition went really well. And I was really excited about it. It was an audition for a Broadway show, and I got it, and we, had dates set, and I was really excited to go do Broadway again. And it didn't work out, and I was really sad about that. And I'm not gonna get super into it, but obviously a lot happened last year. A lot was said last year. I lost that opportunity right after a story came out about me that was just completely made up.
That was completely made up. To this very day, Colleen has not even taken a very second to apologize. Still victim blaming. This is insane. I don't know how people can even continue watching her. Like, at this point, I even feel insane for watching this. Adam McIntyre actually responded to this and said, girl, whatever, womp womp. And there's people on Twitter posting about this, saying, only posting because it came across my FYP before. Colleen Ballinger defender still lurking in my account who wanted to call me obsessed. Her continuing to deny there was even an ounce of truth to the accusations, despite endless amounts of proof posted, is insane. Someone down here said, story is completely made up. When she apologized in her fall vlog because people were hurt, do you think she was talking about herself being hurt? Yeah, to that I say, she was just talking about herself. This whole thing has been very, self-induced. Everything's all about Colleen. It's not about how she's hurt other people. She will continue to push this away as people continue to ask about it. So it's just sad. What I feel bad about, too, is that there's going to be continued younger kids watching her that are unaware of this. And maybe one day when they get older, they're going to realize this and kind of go, uh-oh. This situation in particular is one that grosses me out enough to be like, not that I was ever a fan of hers, but if I was and I found out about it, I'd be like, never again watching her. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Just wanted to kind of share this situation, as of course it's very gnarly. So let me know, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.